So you want to install your new electric water heater. It's easier than you think. You can do it yourself and save a lot of money. Let's get to it. There's really only 3 steps in these super easy, small, instant water heaters. There's hanging them, installing the plumbing, and installing the electrical. You can mount this to any wall. There are some clearances, such as 15 inches above the unit and 12 inches to the side of the unit for safety. Of course, you don't want it in an area that's easily accessible for children, but you can mount them under cabinets directly in bathrooms. These small footprint water heaters can be installed anywhere. The manufacturer gives you a template to drill your holes in the walls. If you look closely, the template markings line up perfectly with the hangers on your new water heater. In your water heater kit are included all the anchors you need. It's the 2 wall hangers, it's the 4 screws, and it's the 4 hollow core anchors. So the hollow core anchors are going to be going into drywall, paneling, something like that. If you're going directly into wood, you're okay with just the screws. You can also install on the side of a cabinet or directly in a bathroom. These mounting brackets get installed with the hanger pointing up and out away from the wall. So that's the correct orientation. 2 of them per water heater. With your water heater hung, you're ready for step 2 already, installing the plumbing. The manufacturer did you a favor here by easily labeling the cold entrance side for the water and the exiting outlet side for the water. So of course, cold is blue and hot is red. These are 1/2 inch threaded male fittings, 1/2 inch. Today I'm going to use threaded 1/2 inch. The manufacturer of the water heater did give you 2 washers. Go ahead and place those inside the fitting or directly underneath the male side. That's going to create a great seal for you. This is what it looks like after I inserted the washer. Also, whenever you have metal against metal threads, it's best practice to use Teflon tape. Teflon tape is very inexpensive. It prevents leaks, and you go around clockwise. So as you're looking at the threads, you go around clockwise, and it just fills in all of those voids. And just screw on your fitting. This one already had the rubber washer down in there tight. So I'm going to go hand tight and then get a tool and give it a little quarter turn and call it good. Of course, after you buy this water heater, you could hire out this entire project, but you will save a lot by doing it yourself. There's a lot of flexibility with these small footprint on-demand water heaters. They're electric, so they're safer than gas. No piping for gas, no carbon monoxide risk. Now we have the male threaded pieces in place. We have the washers in place and the Teflon tape. Let's go ahead and insert our PEX tubing. So we'll go with the color coding and we'll stick with red to red. And blue will be the cold inlet side. Okay, now that those are seated in place, of course, you're just going to connect it to the rest of your plumbing. Also, it's best practice, as long as you're installing the plumbing, go ahead and put a shutoff valve on the cold water side. A shutoff valve on the cold water side is worth your extra time. It's for future serviceability of your new heater. This is 1/2 inch piping, which is what you want on these endpoint location water heaters. These are great for boosting hot water, maybe on the far side of your house, in addition, a separate bathroom, a new basement bathroom, a locker room. There's a lot of use applications for these easy to install water heaters. Okay, now before we move on to the electrical, you do want to run a little bit of water through your unit, maybe for a minute or so. You're going to get out all the air in the lines. After you're convinced that your water is running clear, there's no more air in the lines, you're ready for step 3 already, move on to the electrical connections. Okay, for this step, the electrical, you can still do it yourself if you have experience, or you can hire this part out, or just do as much as you're comfortable with. So you could start from the unit and work your way backwards to the electrical source, but the order is mounting, installing, plumbing second, and electrical third. This manufacturer has 4 screws to remove the cover plate. Okay, with the 4 screws removed, your removable service cover will come right off. Over here is where you're going to do your electrical connections. Now this is the 14 kilowatt unit. So this is running a 60 amp double pole circuit. That's 240 volts. And the manufacturer recommends a 6-gauge wire. That's a very thick wire. If you buy one of their smaller units, you can use a number 8 wire, which is a little bit thinner, and a 50 or 40 amperage circuit breaker, depending on which model you buy. The specifications are clearly listed in the sales page and on the installation manual. Okay, this is the number 6 wire. I have found that if you cut back the sheathing about 3 inches, that will be the perfect length to reach into the heater. And then we're going to cut back the individual wire sheathing about 1/4 inch. Okay, so I got the mark at 3 inches, and that's where I want the sheathing removed. Now, if you're working with single wires, you could run it in conduit. Here we're running Romex style. Okay, with 3 inches of the sheathing approximately removed, we do want to expose the copper conductor about 1/4 inch. Okay, with the wires exposed, the conductors exposed, we are ready to go. So you got the 2 conductors and ground. You don't need a 3rd conductor, so you don't need a neutral. In this case, we're using the white wire as a hot conductor. That is allowed. You can mark it with black tape on both sides of the white wire in the panel and on the water heater, so it indicates that it's a live conductor. Okay, the manufacturer has already installed the strain relief wire clamp. That's one less thing you have to worry about. You're going to bring that into the water heater. It's clearly labeled conductor 1, line 1, conductor 2, line 2, and the ground. Green is always the ground. So let's rotate this a little bit, make it a little bit easier to install. All right, ground on the left, 2nd conductor in the middle, and black on the right. Let's go ahead and loosen these up too. So these terminal screws simply turn to the left and they will back out. All right, I have that in. Like I said, about 1/4 inch of exposed conductor is plenty. Okay, with the conductors all tightened down, we're ready to cinch up the wire clamp. Okay, you do want to fasten the wire to something solid. Here, we'll just staple it right to a stud. Okay, you've done it in the correct order. Plumbing first, flushed out the lines. Electrical, let's put the cover back on and then we'll get to the other side. Now, tying into your existing electrical is up to you and your comfort level. In my state and in most states, you do have the legal right to do it if you own the property. However, in some states, you do have to hire an electrician. This particular water heater model calls for a 60 amp, 240 volt circuit. So you have to make sure you have room for that in your panel. This house does in the sub panel. Your electrical connections for the water heater are simply going to go one on the black, one on the white side, and you can mark the white with that black electrical tape so our future owner knows that the white is being used as a conductor, as a hot conductor. I do have other videos on the channel about installing circuit breakers. They're actually quite easy. Of course, just make sure you turn off the main and take basic precautions, but only if you're comfortable and have some experience. Otherwise, just hire this part out and you're still saving a lot of money on the other part of the project. Okay, at this point, you have your water on, you're okay to turn on the electrical. That will be the indicator showing that you have power to the unit. Go ahead and take off this decorative cover. And you got that beautiful finish. And then also in the packaging, the styrofoam packaging is the operating knob. Okay, the way this unit works, that's actually the off position, but it has power and it's ready to go. You simply push the button, it turns it on. It will heat currently to 87 degrees when you turn the water on. Now you can dial this up. Say you're in a primary bathroom and you want 100 or more, you can do that. Now, you can also choose how you're going to have the water heater display in Fahrenheit or Celsius. So when the water heater is in the off position, go ahead and hold this button down for 5 seconds. And then you're going to get the option to change from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Look at that. Now, these kind of on-demand water heaters will heat as fast as they can. It will depend on how many faucets you have on or showers at the same time. The lower end models, you want maybe just one end unit, one faucet, but the larger models can handle more than one. Also, let's talk some basic safety. These models are never to be installed outside or where they will get exposed to the weather. Never install them where children will have direct access to them. And that grounding wire was mandatory. You do want to have it grounded for sure. Also, in the video description is the link for this product and some other models as well. I am an Amazon associate, so I earn commission from qualified sales, but I'm available for questions, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Hey, you can do this. I know you can do it yourself.